Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the International Conference on Mental Health, Suicide Prevention, Awareness, Education, Environment, Health, Well-being, Environment and Sustainable Development 2024, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, and also commemorating Indian Social Work Day and Month 2024, that is October 2024, and also on occasion of World Mental Health Day and World Mental Health Month, which is celebrated today, that is 10th October 2024, and this entire month, October 2024, in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Well. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
I got a message that you were not able to hear me. So you can respond in chat box. How many of you could hear me? I was talking about stress. So let me know if there was any technical issue. In the chat box. Not now, just before. Okay. Okay, no issue. So what was the last thing, last topic you were able to listen? Okay. Okay, no need to worry. Okay, fine. There may be some technical issue. Okay, so no need to worry. So October 10th is commemorated as World Mental Health Day, and the overall objective of World Mental Health Day is to raise awareness of mental health issues around the world and to mobilize efforts in support of mental health. The day provides an opportunity for all stakeholders working on mental health issues to talk about their work and what more needs to be done and make mental health care a reality for people worldwide. So we have different themes set for different years. Every year has a different theme. Set for each year. So we'll just quickly look at each year's themes from past 10 years, like World Mental Health Day 2013 had the theme Mental Health and Older Adults. And for 2014, the theme was Living a Healthy Life with Schizophrenia. And the theme for 2015 was Dignity in Mental Health. The theme for 2016 is Psychological First Aid. The theme for 2017 was Mental Health in the Workplace. The theme for World Mental Health Day 2018 was Young People and Mental Health in a Changing World. The theme for 2019 was Focus on Suicide Prevention. The theme for World Mental Health Day 2020 is Move for Mental Health, Let's Invest. The theme for World Mental Health Day 2021, Mental Health Care for All, Let's Make It a Reality. The theme for World Mental Health Day 2022, Make Mental Health and Well-Being for All a Global Priority. The theme for last year, World Mental Health Day 2023, was Mental Health is a Universal Human Right. And the theme for this year, that is World Mental Health Day, is Mental Health at Work. Hope now you are able to hear me. I'm still getting messages. I think you are not connected to audio properly. If still you are not able to hear, you can connect your audio. Others, whoever can hear me, can just put in chat box so that I can get the confirmation if you are able to hear me or not. Okay, fine. make sure your volume is at maximum so that you are able to hear. Because I can see many are responding, we are able to hear. I think there is some technical issue at your end. Kindly reconnect your audio or check your settings. If you are not able to hear, from our side, it is clear. Okay, so we have seen that every year there is a specific focus on one or more aspects of mental health. So this year, the theme is World Mental Health Day 2024. The theme is Mental Health at Work. So the World Mental Health Day, World Health Organization is uniting with partners to highlight the vital connection between mental health and work. Safe and healthy working environments can act as a protective factor for mental health. Unhealthy conditions, including stigma, discrimination, and exposure to risk like harassment, and other poor working conditions, can pose significant risks affecting mental health, overall quality of life, and consequently, participation or productivity at work. With 60% of the global population in work, urgent action is needed to ensure work prevents risk to mental health and protects and supports mental health at work. It is essential for governments, employers, the organizations which represent workers and employers, and other stakeholders responsible for workers' health and safety to work together to improve mental health at work. Action to address mental health at work should be done with the meaningful involvement of workers and their representatives and persons with lived experience of mental health conditions. By investing efforts and resources in evidence-based approaches and interventions at work, we can ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive at work and in life. So let's take action today for a healthier future. So let's look at how mental health is related to work and how both are closely related. Mental health and work are closely linked. A supportive work environment fosters mental health, providing purpose and stability. But poor working conditions can harm mental well-being, reducing both job satisfaction and productivity. Workers face risks to mental health as there are various risks to mental health that workers may face, including discrimination, poor working conditions, or limited autonomy. Low paid or insecure jobs often lack adequate protections, leaving workers in these jobs more exposed to psychosocial risk. Impact of individuals, lack of support for people with mental health conditions can negatively impact their self-confidence, enjoyment at work, capacity to work, absences, and ability to gain employment. Careers and family members are also similarly affected. And it also has a wider impact on work and society. Poor mental health can lead to decreased performance, absence from work, and increased staff turnover. Depression and anxiety alone result in the loss of approximately 12 billion working days each year. Stigma creates barriers to employment. Stigma and discrimination often prevent people with mental health conditions from seeking help or finding and keeping jobs. Reducing workplace discrimination through awareness, training, and engagement with people living with mental health conditions creates healthier, more inclusive work environments. Supporting workers to participate and thrive in work. Employers should apply reasonable accommodations to support workers with mental health conditions in the workplace. This means, for example, organizing regular supportive meetings, scheduling frequent breaks, gradually reintroducing workers to tasks, and providing storage for medication. Training managers to support mental health. Employers should provide managers with training to recognize and address stresses in the workplace. Trained managers can effectively support their teams and foster a healthier, more supportive work environment. Governors, governments, action and collaboration are essential as governments, employers, and representative organizations, unions, associations must work together to create policies that prevent mental health risks, promote well being, and build supportive workplaces where mental health is prioritized. And at the last but not the least, taking care of our own mental health. Although governments and employers have the primary responsibility to protect and promote mental health at work, you can take steps to support your own well being, learn techniques to manage stress, and stay mindful of changes in your mental health if needed. Reach out for support from a trusted friend, family member, colleague, supervisor, or health professional. Now, what would be the major causes of mental health issues? What could be the possible causes of mental health issues? The major is stress. As we are not able to accept the reality as it is. So when we are not able to accept as it is, the difference between the expectation and reality, when it is not acceptable, it creates stress and anxiety. So what is stress? Stress can be defined as a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. Stress is a natural human response that prompts us to address challenges and threats in our lives. Everyone experiences stress to some degree. The way respond to stress, the way we respond to stress, however, makes a big difference to our overall well-being. So stress affects both the mind and body. A little bit of stress is good and can help us perform daily activities. Too much stress can cause physical and mental health problems. Learning how to cope with stress can help us feel less overwhelmed and support our mental and physical well being. So, now, how to identify the stress? What are various signs of stress? Stress makes it hard for us to relax and can come with a range of emotions, including anxiety and irritability. When stressed, we may find it difficult to concentrate. We may experience headaches or other body pains, an upset stomach, or trouble sleeping. We may find we lose our appetite or eat more than usual. Chronic stress can worsen pre existing health problems and may increase our use of alcohol, tobacco, and other substance abuses and lead to addiction if you are into it. Or you can also catch up new habits. Stressful situations can also cause or exacerbate mental health conditions, most commonly anxiety and depression, which require access to health care. When we suffer from a mental health conditions, it may be because our symptoms of stress have become persistent, persistent and have started affecting our daily function, including at work or school. Everyone reacts differently to stressful situations based on the coping styles and symptoms of stress, which also vary from person to person. Now, what to expect from a stressful situation? It is a natural to feel stressed in challenging situations, such as interviews, job interviews, school exams, college exams, unrealistic workloads, insecure job or insecure or risky work conditions, or conflict with family, friends, or colleagues. For many people, stress reduces over time as the situation improves or as they learn to cope up emotionally with the situation. Stress tends to be widespread during the events such as major economic crisis, disease outbreaks, natural disasters, war, and community violence. Most of us manage stress well and continue to function. If we have difficulties coping with stress, we should seek help from a trusted healthcare provider or from another trusted person in your family, community, or neighborhood. Now, how do we manage this stress? Learn stress management. One such good resource is World Health Organization Stress Management Guide, Doing What Matters in Times of Stress. It is available freely to download from World Health Organization website. It aims to equip people with practical skills to cope up with stress. A few minutes each day are enough to practice the guide's self-help techniques. The guide can be used alone or with its accompanying audio exercises if you need guided instructions. Having a daily schedule, keep a daily routine, can help us use our time efficiently and feel more in control. Set time for regular meals, time with family members, exercise, daily course, and other recreational activities. Get plenty of sleep, drink plenty of water, and eat fresh, healthy diet food in appropriate times. Getting enough sleep is important for both body and mind. Sleep repairs, relaxes, and regenerates our body and can help reverse the effect of stress. Good sleep habits, also known as sleep hygiene, includes being consistent, go to bed at the same time each night, and get up at the same time each morning, including on weekends. If possible, make your sleeping area quiet, dark, relaxing, and at a comfortable temperature. Limit your use of electronic devices such as TVs, computers, and smartphones before sleeping. Avoid large meals, caffeine, and alcohol before bedtime. Get some exercises. Being physically If possible, make your sleeping area quite dark, relaxing, and a comfortable temperature so that you will have good sleep. Limit your use of electronic devices such as TVs, computers, smartphones before sleeping. Avoid large meals, caffeine, alcohol before bedtime. Get some exercise. Being physically active during the day can help you to fall asleep more easily at night when you are more tired. Connect with others. Keep in touch with your family and friends. Share your concerns and feelings with people you trust. Connecting with others can lift our mood and help us feel less stressed. Eat healthy. What we eat and drink can affect our health. Try to eat a balanced diet and to eat at regular intervals. Drink enough fluids, water, Eat lots of fresh fruits and vegetables. Exercise regularly. Regular daily exercise can help to make reduce stress. This can include limit time following news. Spend too much time following news on television and social media. Spending can increase stress. Limit the time you spend following the news if it increases your stress. So before we move on, we'll just look at the request in chat. We request all the presenters to share your details in the chat box as shown on the screen. As we will be inviting you one by one, it is mandatory for all the participants so that we know you are available and you are ready for your presentations. Keep sharing in chat box. After this, we'll invite you. Now, coming to mental health. What is mental health? Mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope up with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well and work well, and contribute to their community. At any one time, a diverse set of individual, family, community, and structural factors may contribute to protect or undermine mental health. Although most people are resilient, people who are exposed to adverse circumstances, including poverty, violence, disability, and inequality, are at higher risk of developing a mental health condition. Many mental health conditions can be effectively treated at relatively low cost, yet health systems remain significantly under-resourced and treatment gaps are wide all over the world. Mental health care is often poor in quality when delivered. People with mental health conditions often also experience stigma. And mental health is a state of mental well-being that enables people to cope up with the stresses of life, realize their abilities, learn well, and work well, and contribute to their community. It is an integral component of health and well-being that underpins our individual and collective abilities to make decisions, build relationships, and shape the world we live in. Mental health is a basic human right, and it is crucial to personal, community, and socioeconomic development. Mental health is more than the absence of mental disorders. It exists on a complex continuum, which is experienced differently from mental health is more than absence of mental disorders. It exists on a complex continuum, which is experienced differently from one person to the next, with varying degrees of difficulty and distress and potentially very different social and clinical outcomes. Mental health conditions include mental health disorders and psychosocial disabilities, as well as other mental states associated with significant distress, impairment in functioning, or risk or self harm. People with mental health conditions are more likely to experience. So, mental health conditions have various determinants throughout our lives. Multiple individual, social, and structural determinants may combine to protect or undermine our mental health and shift our position on the mental health continuum. Individual psychological and biological factors such as emotional skills, substance use, and genetics can make people more vulnerable to mental health problems. Exposure to unfavorable social, economic, geopolitical, and environmental circumstances, including poverty, violence, inequality, and environmental deprivation, also increases people's risk of experiencing mental health conditions. Risk can be Risks can manifest themselves at all stages of life, but those that occur during the developmentally sensitive periods, especially early childhood, are particularly detrimental. For example, harsh parenting and physical punishment is known to undermine the child health, and bullying is a leading risk factor for the mental health conditions. Protective factors similarly occur throughout our lives and serve to strengthen resilience. They include our individual, social, and emotional skills and attributes, as well as positive interactions, social interactions, quality education, decent work, safe neighborhood, and community cohesion, among others. Mental health risks and protective factors can be found in society at different scales. Local threats heighten risk for individuals, families, Each single risk and protective factor has only limited predictive strength. Most people do not develop a mental health conditions despite exposure to a risk factor, and many people with no known risk factors still develop in a mental health condition. Nonetheless, the interacting determinants of mental health was served to undermine mental health. Now, how do we promote and prevent? Promotion and prevention interventions work by identifying the individual, social, structural determinants of mental health and the key in intervening to reduce risks, build resilience. Reshaping the determinants of mental health often requires action beyond the health sector, and so promotion and prevention programs should involve the education, labor, justice, transport, environment, housing, and welfare sectors. Today, suicide prevention is a global priority and included in the Sustainable Development Goals. Much progress can be achieved by limiting access to means, responsible media reporting, social and emotional learning for adolescents, and early intervention. Banning highly hazardous pesticides is a particularly inexpensive and cost effective intervention for reducing suicide rates. Promoting child and adolescent mental health is another priority and can be achieved by policies and laws that promise and protect mental health. Supporting caregivers to provide for nurturing. Promoting and protecting mental health at work is a growing area of interest and can be supported through legislation and regulation, organizational strategies, manager training, and intervention for workers. In context of national efforts to strengthen mental health, it is vital to not only protect and promote the mental well-being of all, but also to traders. In the context of national efforts to strengthen mental health, It is vital not only to protect and promote the mental well-being of all, but also to address the needs of people with mental health conditions. This should be done through community-based mental health care, which is more accessible and acceptable than institutional care, which helps prevent human rights violations and deliver better recovery outcomes for people with mental health conditions. Community-based mental health care should be provided through a network of interrelated services that comprise mental health services that are integrated in general health care, typically in general hospitals, and through task sharing with non-specialist care providers in primary health care. Community mental health services that may involve community health centers or community mental health centers and teams, psychosocial rehabilitation, peer support services, and supported living services. Services that deliver mental health care in social services and non-health settings such as child protection, school health services, and prisons. The vast care gap for the common mental health conditions such as depression and anxiety means countries must also find innovative ways, diversify, and scale up care for these conditions. For example, through non-specialist psychological counseling or digital self-help. One in every 8 people in the world live with a mental disorder. Mental disorders involve significant disturbances in thinking, emotional regulation, or behavior. There are many different types of mental disorders. Effective prevention and treatment options exist. Most people do not have access to effective care. When we look at a mental disorder, it is characterized by a clinical significant disturbance in an individual's cognition, emotional regulation, or behavior. It is usually associated with distress or impairment and in important areas of function. There are many different types of mental disorders. Mental disorders may also be referred to as mental health conditions. The latter is a broader term covering mental disorders, psychosocial disabilities, and other mental states associated with significant distress, impairment in functioning, or risk or self-harm. This fact sheet and many other resources focuses on mental disorders that are described by International Classification of Diseases, 11th revision, ICD-11. In 2019, 1 in every 8 people, or 970 million people around the world, were living with a mental disorder, with anxiety and depressive disorders at the most common. In 2020, the number of people living with anxiety and depressive disorders rose significantly because of the COVID-19 pandemic. Initial estimates show a 26% and 28% increase respectively for anxiety and major depressive disorders in just 1 year. While effective prevention and treatment options exist, most people with mental disorders do not have access to effective care. Many people also experience stigma, discrimination, and violation of human rights. Let's quickly look at few of the common mental health disorders. In the meanwhile, we request all the presenters who have registered to share their presentation details in the chat box as shown in the screen, so that after this we can invite you for the presentations. And coming to anxiety disorders, in 2019, 301 million people were living with anxiety disorders, including 58 million children and adolescents. Anxiety disorders are characterized by excessive fear and worry and related behavioral disturbances. Symptoms are severe enough to result in significant distress or significant impairment in functioning. There are several different kinds of anxiety disorders, such as general anxiety disorder, in short known as GAD, characterized by excessive worry, panic disorder, characterized by panic attacks, social anxiety disorder, in short known as SAD, characterized by excessive fear and worry in social situations, separation anxiety disorder, characterized by excessive fear or anxiety about separation from those individuals to whom the person has a deep emotional bond, and others. Effective psychological treatment exists, and depending on the age and severity, medication may also be considered if required. And coming to depression, in 2019, 280 million people were living with depression, including 23 million children and adolescents. Depression is different from usual mood fluctuations and short lived emotional responses to challenges in everyday life. During a depression episode, the person experiences depressed mood, that is, feeling sad, irritable, empty, or loss of pleasure or interest in activities for most of the day, nearly every day, for at least 2 weeks. Several other symptoms are also present, which may include poor concentration, feelings of excessive guilt or low self worth, hopelessness about the future, thoughts about dying or suicide, disrupted sleep, changes in appetite or weight, and feeling especially tired or low in energy. People with depression are at an increased risk of suicide. Yet, effective psychological treatment exists, and depending on the age and severity, medication may also be considered. Coming to bipolar disorder, in 2019, 40 million people experienced bipolar disorder. People with bipolar disorder experience alternating depressive episodes with periods of manic symptoms. During a depressive episode, the person experiences depressed mood, that is, feeling sad, irritable, empty, or a loss of pleasure or interest in activities for most of the day, nearly every day. Manic symptoms may include euphoria or irritability, increased activity or energy, and other symptoms such as increased talkativeness, racing thoughts, increased self esteem, decreased need for sleep, distractibility, and impulsive, reckless behavior. People with bipolar disorders are at an increased risk of suicide, yet effective treatment options exist, including psychoeducation, reduction of stress, and strengthening of social functioning, and medication. Coming to post traumatic stress disorder, in short known as PTSD, the prevalence of PTSD and other mental health disorders is high in conflict affected settings. PTSD may develop following exposure to an extremely threatening or horrific event or series of events. It is characterized by all of the following: re experiencing the traumatic event or events in the present, intrusive memories, flashbacks or nightmares, avoidance of thoughts and memories of the event, PTSD may develop following exposure to an extremely threatening or horrific event or series of events. It is characterized by all of the following: re experiencing the traumatic event or events in the present, intrusive memories, flashbacks, or nightmares, avoidance of thoughts and memories of the events, or avoidance of activities, situations, or people reminiscent of the events, and persistent perceptions of heightened current threat. These symptoms persist for at least several weeks and cause significant impairment in functioning. Effective psychological treatment exists. Coming to schizophrenia, schizophrenia affects approximately 24 million people, or 1 in 300 people worldwide. People with schizophrenia have a life expectancy of 10 to 20 years below that of general population. Schizophrenia is characterized by significant impairments in perception and changes in behavior. Symptoms may include persistent delusions, hallucinations, disorganized thinking, highly disorganized behavior, or extreme agitation. People with schizophrenia may experience persistent difficulties with their cognitive functioning, yet a range of effective treatment options exist, including medication, psychoeducation, family interventions, and psychosocial rehabilitation. Coming to eating disorders, in 2019, 14 million people experienced eating disorders, including almost 3 million children and adolescents. Eating disorders such as anorexia nervosa and bulimia nervosa involve abnormal eating and preoccupation with food, as well as a prominent body weight and shapes concerns. The promptum, the symptoms or behaviors result in significant risk or damage to health, significant distress or significant impairment of function. Anorexia nervosa often has its onset during adolescence or early adulthood and is associated with premature death due to medical complication or suicide. Coming to disruptive behaviors and dissocial disorders, 40 million people, including children and adolescents, were living with conduct dissocial disorder in 2019. This disorder, also known as conduct disorder, is one of the two disruptive behaviors and dissocial disorders. The other is oppositional defiant disorder. Disruptive behavior and dissocial disorders are characterized by persistent behavior problems such as persistently defiant or disobedient to behaviors that persistently violate the basic rights of others or major age-appropriate societal norms, rules, or laws. Onset of the disruptive and dissocial disorders is commonly through, not always during the childhood. Effectively, psychological treatments exist, often involving parents, caregivers, and teachers, and cognitive problem solving or social skills training. Coming to neurodevelopmental disorders, which are behavioral and cognitive disorders that arise during the developmental period and involve significant difficulties in the acquisition and execution of special mental specific intellectual, motor language, or social functions. Neurodevelopmental disorders include disorders of intellectual development, autism, spectrum disorder, and attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, among others. ADHD is characterized by a persistent pattern of inattention and or hyperactivity, impulsivity that has a great or a direct negative impact on academic, occupational, or social function. Disorders of intellectual development are characterized by significant limitations in intellectual functioning and adaptive behavior, which refers to difficulties with everyday conception, social, and practical skills that are performed in daily life. Autism spectrum disorder, ASD, constitutes a diverse group of conditions characterized by some degree earlyality. At any one time, a diverse set of individual, family, community, and structural factors may combine to protect or undermine mental health. Although most people are resilient people who are exposed to diverse circumstances, including poverty, violence, disability, and inequality, are at higher risk. Protective and risk factors include individual, psychological, and biological factors such as emotional skills as well as genetics. Many of the risk and protection factors are influenced through changes in the brain structure and or function. So when coming to mental health in emergencies, almost all people affected by emergencies will experience psychological distress, which for most people will improve over time. Among people who have experienced war or other conflict in the previous years, 1 in 5, 22%, with will have depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, bipolar disorder, or schizophrenia. People with severe mental disorders are expected, especially vulnerable during emergencies. As we know, we are celebrating the journey of Mental Health Day. The World Federation of Mental Health is an international membership organization founded in 1948 to advance the prevention of mental and emotional disorders, provide proper treatment and care to those in need, and promote mental well being among individuals and nations. The core mission revolves around the fostering a greater global understanding of the mental health, working proactively to prevent the onset of mental disorders and advocating for meaningful changes while championing recovery oriented approaches. The organization aims to heighten public awareness about the significance of mental health, improve attitudes towards mental health disorders, and provide mental well being while intending to enhance the care, treatment, and recovery of the individuals. This was founded in 1948. The World Federation of Mental Health began with members not of individuals or countries, but of societies from 46 countries. Today, with members and contacts in over 90 countries, the organization chronicles the emergence of a global movement, one that has tirelessly championed the cause of mental health awareness, shattered stereotypes around mental disorders, and kindled a beacon of hope for individuals worldwide. So let's embark on a captivating voyage through time and unravel the history of roots of World Federation of Mental Health. World Mental Health Day was first observed on October 10, 1992, at the initiative of Richard C. Hunter, the then Deputy Secretary General of the World Federation for Mental Health. Since then, it has been observed every year with the aim of raising awareness in the global community about critical mental health agenda through collaboration with various partners to take action and create lasting image. Over the years, this day was gained momentum, becoming a platform for governments, organizations, and individuals to develop initiatives that focus on various aspects of mental care. The World Congress has been one of the biggest endeavors by the World Federation for Mental Health. It was first held in August 1948 in London. It is held every 2 years since then in different cities across the world. The Congress has traditionally aimed to provide a platform to bring together experts with lived experiences, carers, mental health professionals, and policymakers for discussions that help to envision a better world and so on. So, with this, we shall end this commemoration of World Mental Health Day and move on to commemorations and presentations. Apart from that, we also are commemorating today World Animal Road Accident Day and World Day Against the Death Penalty. And today is also commemorated as World Plant-Based Burger Day and World Homeless Day and World Sight Day, apart from World Mental Health Day. Which are also interrelated. We'll just quickly look at these before moving on to the presentations. In the meanwhile, we request all the presenters to quickly share your presentation details in the chat box. Today is also commemorated as World Animal Road Accident Awareness Week and Day on October 10th, which is a fantastic opportunity to help raise awareness on the problem of animals getting hurt on the road and sometimes abandoned without assistance or much care. This can also take a mental toll on the drivers who hit the animals and also the travelers passing by and the riders. So it's a day to urge people to consider what they would do if they hit an animal while driving, and it is hoped that through education and action, fewer animals will suffer and more animal owners will be spared the anguish the traffic accidents entail. So driving with extra care and attention will save many lives, but accidents will happen even to the most animal-loving drivers. So no animal deserves to be dumped on the side of the road after a car accident. Would you be dumped aside of the road if you have been met with an accident? Never. Similarly, no animal should be dumped on the side of the road after an accident. Every day, approximately as per the statistics just taking US, 630 cats are killed in car accidents. Only 25% of these incidents will be deadly, leaving 75% with the possibility of survival, but only if the animal receives assistance. Many people attempt to educate the public on what to do if they hit an animal on the road. Fortunately, the Cats Matter organization has made raising awareness of this issue easier. Cats Matter is committed to worthwhile cause in driving force behind Animal Road Accident Awareness Day. Annual road fatalities are expected to kill 1 lakh foxes, 50,000 deer, 50,000 deers, 30 million birds and hedgehogs, which formerly headed the fatality list with 29% of them killed by automobiles and are now, which are critically endangered. So authorities estimate that the accurate death rate to be about 70 million animals based on the statistical study of those that may have gone undetected. Highways England claims that 2,143 dead animals were discovered on about 4,300 miles of roadway, less than 1% of the UK's entire road network. The Road Traffic Act 1988 in the United Kingdom specifies that drivers must notify the police if they strike any of the following animals: dogs, horses, cattle, cows, pigs, goats, sheep, donkeys, or mules. Although there is currently no requirement to record all animal deaths on roadways, police suggest drivers contact the owner of domestic animals such as cats to alert them on this situation. Whatever the regulations, the most important thing is that animal is provided with the best opportunity, best possible if it survives the initial impact. Today highlights the fact that many animals are disregarded for no other reason than a motorist did not value their life enough to give them a second consideration. Deer are responsible for around 260,000 collisions each year. More than 150 people are killed in these crashes and more animals. Squirrels, birds, cats, dogs, rabbits, raccoons, skunks, turtles, and coyotes are the most common animals observed on highways, which are discovered on the road. Keep an eye on your surroundings. If you are traveling in rural countryside, thickly forested regions, or near bodies of water such as ponds, lakes, or rivers. Take additional precautions and use your horn to scare the animals. If you accidentally strike or locate an injured domestic cat on the streets, or any animal for that matter, take it to the nearest veterinarian and you will not be penalized. The animal will be given necessary care and scanned for a microchip, which allows the owner to be contacted. Driving safely and improving your driving skills is an excellent way to commemorate the day. So learn about traffic safety precautions and other suggestions. The majority of accidents occur in fall as this is a mating and hunting season and deer are most active at this time. Thus, they tend to wander outside their typical range. Keep in mind that animals also wander on the road before and after sunrises, making all these high risk times for animal vehicle collisions. As sunrise, sunset, and midnight are the peak hours. If you encounter a deer while driving, expect to see numerous others nearby. So big animals rarely cross the road alone. Every hour, 4 to 8 big animal vehicle collisions occur in Canada, and it's become a big problem for Canada. Every year in the US, an estimated 1 million to 2 million collisions between motor vehicles and big animals such as deer occur, resulting in 200 human deaths, 26,000 injuries, and at least $8 billion in property damage and other expenditure. So this day raises awareness for a significant cause and prevent accidents, loss of life, mental agony, physical pain, and other issues. One of the main reasons we observe animal road accident awareness is to emphasize the hazards of driving while distracted. With almost 1,000 animal deaths caused by traffic accidents each year, increased awareness urges individuals to take extra measures. This day also emphasizes the importance of preventive interventions. This day educates individuals on how to handle a traffic accident if they strike an animal while driving. There are preventable methods to help reduce the danger of animals getting wounded, as well as guidance on what to do if an animal gets away, roadside first aid, and much more. Not only our lives are important, but also so are the lives of animals. It can assist to change the destiny of animals that have not yet landed in this situation. And we have similar commemoration also on October 10th, which is World Day Against the Death Penalty, which leaves a lifelong misery to the families and also psychological, mental health issues, along with physical issues. So World Day Against the Death Penalty is observed annually on October 10th, and this is the day set aside to raise awareness about the need to get rid of the death penalty from our justice systems. The campaign especially seeks to encourage and reinforce international public opinion and public decision makers to fight for its abolition. It is supported by numerous NGOs, world governments, including Amnesty International, the European Union, and the United Nations. The death penalty, referred to as capital punishment, is the state-approved killing of a person as punishment for a crime committed by that individual. The execution of criminals and dissidents have been used by nearly all societies since the beginning of civilization on Earth. Over the years, human civilizations have made attempts at abolishing the death penalty, but found society returning to it after a few years. Examples include Japan in 724 AD, during which the ban by Emperor Shomu only lasted a few years. In 747 AD, in China, it was banned by Emperor Xuanzong of Tang and replaced with exile of scourging. This also lasted 12 years. Amnesty International holds the death penalty breaches human rights in particular, the right to life and right to live free from torture or cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment. Both rights are protected under the Universal Declaration of Human Rights adopted by the UN in 1948. When Amnesty International started its journey and its work in 1977, only 16 countries has abolished the death penalty. Today, that number has risen to 108, more than half of the world's countries. Each year, a theme is chosen. Their areas of focus have included access to lawyer, child death sentencing, living conditions on death row, poverty, and justice. Over time, more and more member states from all regions acknowledge that death penalty undermines human dignity and that its abolition contributes to the enhancement and progressive development of human rights. So, there is also a concern that victims of violent crimes and their families have the right to justice. Yes, they do, but for them, the death penalty for the perpetrator cannot genuinely relieve their suffering. It just extends the suffering to the family of the condemned person. The aim is to reduce violence, not cause more death or violence. So it's better to execute someone than to lock them up forever. This is also one more concern. The issue here is the offenders have their lives claimed by a system of justice that values retribution over rehabilitation. As long as a prisoner is alive, he or she has hope for rehabilitation or to be exonerated if later found to be innocent. So, why this death penalty is so expensive? Some of the reasons for the high cost of the death penalty are the longer trials and appeals required when a person's life is at stake, which directly require more lawyers and experts on both sides of the case, and relatively rarity of executions. So this day highlights the need to respect every human's right to life. There shouldn't be a legal way to take one's life, unless and until in the rare exceptions. The campaign drives justice systems around the world to make necessary adjustments in ensuring a justice system that isn't partial. This helps protect the innocent from needless suffering and death. There is due process from the arrest of crime suspect of their conviction. This day helps strengthen the need to follow it appropriately to ensure due legal process is followed, and it helps achieve fairer criminal justice systems. Today is also commemorated as World Sight Day. As we also have seen, there is a lot of correlation between hearing problems and also sight problems, which are also related to mental health. So this is also a similar commemoration. And World Sight Day is observed every year on the second Thursday of October, falling on October 10th this year. Generally, it is a day here or there. So it is coinciding with the Mental Health Day this year on October 10th. This was initiated by the Lions Club International Foundation during their Sight First campaign in an effort to spread awareness about preventable blindness and help people who are visually impaired. In 1917, Melvin Jones established Lions Club International, which was a service organization. The Lions Club International has organized a variety of projects across the globe, like fundraisers for typhoons and cyclone victims, diagnosis and management of people with hearing disorders, community hearing, and cancer screening projects. One of the well-known Lions Club International projects was the first Sight First campaign. Started in 1990, this campaign aimed to fight blindness due to trachoma and other causes of blindness. These campaigns help over 488 million people who were visually impaired. During the Sight First campaign in 2000, the Lions Club International and the International Agency for Prevention of Blindness proclaimed every second Thursday of October to be observed as the World Sight Day. So the primary objective was to draw public's attention to the importance of following safe practices to prevent blindness and other problems related to vision. Medication kits and financial assistance was provided to the needy. This day was observed by millions of people worldwide to spread awareness about eye care and also to appreciate the gift of vision, which is a blessing in every sense of word. This day was also a step towards World Health Organization's Vision 2020, which aimed to intensify and accelerate prevention of blindness activities so as to achieve the goal of eliminating avoidable blindness by 2020. In 2020, World Sight Day was celebrated with the theme named Hope in Sight, and over 755 World Sight Day events were organized in about 140 countries worldwide. There are many eye clinics and hospitals that offer free eye checkups. Find out from your nearest hospital if they plan to organize such as an event. You can even motivate them to do so if there aren't any existing plans already to organize a free eye checkup on World Sight Day. You can also donate your eyes after your death. You will have to register with Eye Bank and concerned authorities. The eyes have to be taken within 4 to 5 hours of death. By donating your eyes after your death, you can give the gift of vision to someone in need, thereby making a difference in this world. Even after your death, you can see the world. Many charitable organizations accept donations for helping the visually impaired. Find out the local charitable trust or even the Lions Club International to donate directly or indirectly to Lions Club International or International Agency for the Prevention of Blindness or any NGO working locally. There are still thousands of people who cannot afford to get medical treatment they need. Organize a fundraiser and ask your friends and relatives to donate to this noble cause. You'll be making a huge impact on the lives of many people affected by visual impairment. About 75% of blindness is preventable. Educate people about healthy practices, medications, and treatments available. You can team up with Lions Club International and help spread the word. And this would be a good time to get your eyes checked. The doctor will examine the condition of blood vessels in your retina and check the overall functioning of your eyes and vision. Go to your nearest eye clinic and also motivate your family members and friends to get their eyes checked. It is estimated that eyes developed in mammals about 500 million years ago. Almost 80% of the information that your brain processes comes from eyes. So that's why they are very crucial for information. Contracting in less than 1/100th of a second, the eyes are the fastest muscle in the human body. The blink of human eye can last anywhere between 100 to 150 milliseconds. Conditions like high blood pressure or high sugar levels can be detected in an eye test. A sight test can determine other ailments. So it is said that the half of the world's population does not have access to proper medical care and resources. It is important for people to recognize the gravity of the situation and do their part in helping people to obtain the medical supervision they are entitled to. This day draws attention to the fact that 85% of the blindness is preventable, and yet millions are visually impaired because they didn't receive treatment. It's a reminder that we have to realize that we wouldn't be enjoying the world beauty, its color, and its detail if we were not for our eyes. We often take our eyesight for granted and become careless, not realizing that sight is a truly gift that we have to be grateful for. This day reminds us to take care of our eyes and also to show love and support to those who can't see. We often get too busy with our daily schedule that we neglect our bodies. So, detecting cataracts in early stages can prevent blindness. This day provides an opportunity and a reminder to finally get an eye check done. You have been postponing for long. And often there is also one other factor like food, clothing, and shelter. Homelessness or homeless is also important factor for the mental health issues along with physical health issues. So today we are also commemorating World Homeless Day, which is observed on every year on October 10th. The purpose of this day is to bring focus on the issues of homelessness and inadequate housing. Activists raise awareness on the need to provide opportunities for communities to get involved in responding to homelessness. Contrary to popular belief, homelessness is on the rise. Inflated property rights coupled with poor wages and irregular work opportunities are the reasons why so many people find themselves without homes. In America, homelessness is more common among minority and immigrant populations. While this remains a serious problem worldwide, there are many ways one can help and also urge the government to act accordingly. And as we are talking about mental health and physical health today, there is also a healthy diet that is required and in a timely manner. Today is also commemorated as World Porridge Day to explore the importance and significance of World Porridge Day. And the first World Porridge Day coincided with the day of American Matthew Cox won the Golden Spurtle at the World Porridge Championship. In the world of breakfast, porridge reigns supreme as a delicious, simple food that can be enjoyed in several ways. Porridge was a reliable staple for nutritional and health benefits in different parts of the world, including Europe and Africa. Porridge was common in the Mediterranean area, Africa, and Latin America. And World Porridge Day is championed by Mary Meals, a charitable organization in the United Kingdom that feeds more than 1.6 million children in 19 countries around the world. The first World Porridge Day was held in 2009, and since then, the day has been circulated and celebrated to raise awareness for starving children in less developed countries by providing porridge to school children. It hopes to give starving children the opportunity to get education they duly deserve. Some of the success recorded by the organization include improved school attendance and elimination of absences attributed to hunger, reduced hunger among school children, reduced levels of children dropping out of school, increasing feelings of happiness at school, and decreased levels of anxiety due to hunger. Though porridge is not new, even in Indian context, it is also served and taken since thousands of years. And when we are talking about One Health paradigm today, when we are looking at the mental health aspects, we need to look at not just human health, but also environment health and also plant health. So, when we are concerned about animal cruelty and animal suffering, animal abuse, today we have one more day commemorating as World Plant-Based Burger Day or anything that is plant-based to encourage. And today we are celebrating World Plant-Based Burger Day, which is celebrated annually So, World Plant-Based Day is to honor all plant-based burgers and all plant-based recipes. The purpose is to motivate and inspire individuals to eat plant-based diet. And as burgers are popular fast food items in US and across, Veganburg, the initiator of this day, aims towards the enthusiasm for sustainable burgers by honoring burgers that make everyone happy, including our planet. Furthermore, amid this pandemic, plant based food has served as a solution to limit the danger of COVID 19 exposure from zoonotic diseases and from animal products to human consumption, and a healthier option to feed our people following the enormous closure of slaughterhouses and zoonotic diseases. And plant-based diet are better alternative for the environment and battle against climate change. The manufacture of just one animal burger takes more than 2,000 liters of water. And plant-based burgers require just 150 liters. Aside from saving water, plant-based burgers use less land and save numerous animal lives each year. As the popularity of vegetarian meats has increased, so the favored descriptive language, plant based, has developed as a preferred phrase among meat free alternatives, as many customers would like to eat more plant based cuisines without being completely vegetarian or vegan. Healthier alternatives to meat based burgers, plant based diets have been linked to a variety of health benefits, including a lower risk of type 2 diabetes and heart disease. True vegetarian burgers are comprised entirely of veggies plus a few binders. Plant based burgers are meat alternatives with a lot of natural or artificial additives as per the preference. Aside from overly processed animal replacements, a plant based diet can be beneficial for weight loss. One of the main reasons for this is fiber content of plants. Fiber rich diets are satisfying while simultaneously being low in calories. Even if you aren't a vegetarian or vegan, try diet for a day, bring some vegetarian or plant based dishes to share with your coworkers or classmates or distribute them. Whole vegetables are high in fiber, one of the most important yet underutilized nutrients. In comparison to conventional ground beef, 20% fat or more, plant based burgers deliver comparable proportions. Because of the lower danger of infection with harmful germs as Salmonella and Escherichia coli, plant based burgers are safer to handle uncooked than grounded beef or other meat. A thorough comparison goes beyond basic rules of thumb and involves a thorough evaluation of nutrition and safety with 100% safe ingredients with vegetarian plant based diet. Pesticides are not loaded into plant based patties. Pesticide levels in these burgers are extremely low and unquestionably safe. Going vegetarian saves not only animals but also fossil fuels. It takes 78 calories of fossil fuel to generate 1 calorie of meat. It only takes 1 calorie of fossil fuel to produce 1 calorie of soybeans. So this is 780% more efficient than meat production. Vegetarian diets often include plenty of fiber, folic acid, vitamin C and E, magnesium, unsaturated fat, and phytochemicals that aren't always found in meat and products. Lower cholesterol means a lower chance of heart disease, lower blood pressure, and a healthy weight, which are also sometimes determinants of mental health issues and disorders. The plant based burger recipe is so well known. So try to experiment with various plant based dishes on this day and in coming days. So we'll quickly take up the presentations with the blessings of Goddess Sri Durga as part of Sri Navaratri celebrations. Today is also commemorated as Mahasaptami, which is celebrated every year on 7th day of the waxing moon called Shukla Paksha in the Hindu calendar month of Ashwin, which falls on October 10th this year. The Mahapuja great ceremony starts on Mahasaptami, where Goddess Durga or Goddess Mahalakshmi is celebrated with great fanfare and glory. Pomp and glory celebrates the 10-armed goddess and her victory over the evil buffalo demon, Mahishasura. So this 10-day long festival, today is the 7th day of Durga Puja festival with great enthusiasm and spirit. And Mahasaptami is the day 7 of this festival. Saptami means 7 in Sanskrit. The Mahapuja of Durga Puja begins on the day of Mahasaptami, and it is said that battle between Goddess Durga and the demon king Mahishasura began on this day and ended on Vijayadashmi day, the 10th and the last day of Durga Puja festival, or Dashara or Vijayadashmi, with the victory of goddess over the demon. There are various legends associated with it that we will look in the coming days. So let's this day and let's this Navaratri celebrations also provide us the bliss and more possibilities, prosperity, health and wealth. And let's all have the victory of good over evil and reflect and fight your inner demons. Let go of bad thoughts and negativity and allow positivity into your life. And it is also a sign of victory over evil. It shows how the good will always prevail over the bad, and we should keep fighting for what is right, even if it is mental health or physical health or any kind of health issues. So we'll move on to commemorate presentations today. We request all the presenters who have registered themselves to quickly share your details in the chat box. And now we are picking up the details from the chat box. Kettle name. So we have one presentation by Kathleen Nyambura Freshay. She is from Kenya, hopefully. Yeah. Are you there? You can raise your hand. Freshay. Yeah. So in the meanwhile, other presenters, quickly share your details in the chat box. We'll be calling you one by one. Yeah, you will be provided with the permissions. Do not close any forms that are available. Just a second. Yeah, now we can unmute yourself. Start your video and presentation on addressing suicide prevention through environmental awareness. Nyambura, you can unmute yourself and start your video and presentation. Kindly be prepared and ready with your presentations so that we can save time. And keep your video on and audio on. As we need to record.
I am Kathleen Nyambura Fresia. I'm a freelance researcher. So I'm here, I thank the Sri Holistic Health Foundation India, the Sri Research Institute and Center for Art Sciences and Wellbeing, all the collaborators and Dr. Ravindra Sir, and their team for giving me this opportunity to participate in this international conference on mental health, suicide prevention, awareness, education, the environment, health, well-being, environment and sustainable development 2024. I am graced with the opportunity to present today on 10th October 2024 an essay I've written on addressing suicide prevention through environmental awareness, and I am expressing my sincere, heartfelt gratitude for getting this opportunity. So I will be addressing a topic that deeply impacts many communities, which is suicide. My focus today will be on an often overlooked element in suicide prevention, which is the environmental awareness. Okay, traditionally, suicide prevention has focused primarily on psychological support and social interventions. However, emerging research is revealing that our physical environments, things such as urban designs, community spaces, and natural landscapes can also play a crucial role in mental health outcomes. By considering how these factors interact with our mental well-being, we can develop more comprehensive approaches to preventing suicide cases. So we can start with the relationship between the environment factors and how it affects our mental health. To begin, let's explore the intricate relationship between environmental factors and mental health. Studies show that even elements like temperature and climate can influence mental well-being. For example, a research was conducted in Oregon, which showed that a negative relationship between high temperatures and suicide rates. This demonstrates how environmental stresses can affect mental health conditions. However, I think it's not just the physical environment that affects the mental health, even the social environments, the people we interact with, our peers, the people we see every day, the social classes, social stigma, all that are critical as well. The community's engagement can affect how we see, can affect us mentally. In programs like the Choose Life program, these factors have been proven to create better outcomes, especially for high-risking groups such as young men. And according to the research I've conducted, suicide rates are seen that are higher in men compared to women. I believe this is because of maybe how the society places men, how society sees men and how society sees women. For example, the society puts more expectations on men compared to how the expectations they put on women. The expectations the society puts on others, it can affect someone mentally, as the person wants to fulfill those 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 wants to fulfill what the society wants them to do, and not being able to reach that level they want can affect them mentally. And I believe that is one of the reasons why people commit suicide. My next point is the impact of natural environments on mental health. So I want to explain how exposure to natural environment impacts mental health. So research has increasingly shown that green spaces and nature can help alleviate anxiety and depression, which is particularly important for vulnerable populations. Okay, for example, enforcement officers have seen improved mental health when natural environments were integrated into their support system. By promoting environmental awareness and green spaces, we can reduce stigma and enhance support networks in communities. So, the green spaces and nature can alleviate anxiety and depression. I can for some people who have anxiety related mental health disorders, they have a way they can relate to some certain environmental conditions that make them feel comfortable, which reduces the anxiety and they have. For example, we can say people with social anxiety disorders, they do not like social places, and being in an environment where they're surrounded with many people will increase the anxiety and make them uncomfortable and all that. But if they're in an environment where they were like alone, maybe surrounded by animals or just somewhere in a quiet room, they'd be more comfortable with reduced anxiety. My next point is how the environment is fostering community supports through environmental awareness. This is how environmental awareness initiatives foster community support networks. Our environment awareness fosters community support networks. When communities come together to protect and care for their surroundings, it creates stronger social bonds. Programs that promote environmental initiatives have shown that people who engage in them not only feel connected to their communities, but also have stronger mental health resilience. This creates a positive feedback loop by protecting the environment, and we also protect and support each other. I can give this example again with someone who has social anxiety. Yes, people with social anxiety have trouble being with people, with other people, socializing with them, interacting with them. However, if they were to get that support, that positive support from people, where like the people they convinced that person how small interactions can improve their lives, how it is okay to interact with others, gently approaching them, it can reduce the anxiety and help them interact better with others. So the community can also help the community itself can also help others. It can as well create awareness where they explain to others that not everyone is able to interact with others. They can educate the people that there are such things such as anxiety, where it is okay for someone not to be able to interact with others. You don't have to judge them because they have anxiety. You have to understand them and learn more about these mental disorders and such things, and be ready to accept them. And maybe you just learn about it. You learn about what exactly this thing is, you don't just judge directly. So yes, the community can play a good major role in this. My next point is the community engagement and social cohesion. So community engagement is essential in suicide prevention. When communities are actively involved in open discussions about mental health, it reduces stigma and encourages people to seek help. Programs that focus on inclusivity, especially among marginalized groups, creates a supportive network where people can advocate for each other. By engaging people with shared experiences, communities can foster resilience and reduce the incidence of suicide. So, with someone who has maybe psychological problems or mental health issues or something, or maybe, yes, the person is contemplating suicide, it could be easier to engage with people who can help you with whatever issues you have. Being in a support group where you can discuss your issues can be very helpful because they can help you. The people can give you advice that can help you overcome your issues. Yeah, the moral support can be there. The people can, if it's financial issues, you might get help. So yes, the community can engage, can help someone, can engage. The community is engagement is essential in suicide prevention. So the summary of key findings and implications for suicide prevention strategies. Recent research in suicide prevention emphasizes the significance of a diverse strategy that integrates social marketing and community involvement. Efforts to raise awareness about crisis resources and encourage open conversations about mental health can effectively diminish stigma around suicide, especially among young men aged 16 to 35, as demonstrated by programs like Choose Life Initiative. Moreover, it has been found that promoting social and emotional learning in educational environments is crucial for early intervention, improving resilience in young people, and avoiding behavioral issues. These observations highlight the importance of teamwork that links mental health promotion to community resources, effectively closing gaps between service providers and at-risk populations. By incorporating environmental consciousness into suicide prevention techniques, we can establish encouraging environments that promote good mental health, leading to a culture that actively addresses mental health concerns. So yes, it basically, that summary basically explains what I've explained about how the community engagement how the community can reduce the number of suicides that occur and can help people by diminishing the stigma around suicide by helping the people, the support groups, raising awareness and educating those who are not aware about their mental health conditions. In conclusion, tackling suicide prevention with environmental awareness requires a complex strategy that combines social beliefs and availability of treatment. Research on Black youth reveals the harmful impact of stigma and cultural trauma on mental well-being, emphasizing the urgent necessity for honest conversations about suicide to foster healing in communities of color. Furthermore, the lack of proper training for healthcare providers on the specific needs of transgender and gender non-conforming individuals highlights a significant care deficiency that increases the risk of suicide and emotional distress. By promoting open communication and learning within various communities, we can break down obstacles that fuel feelings of loneliness and hopelessness. In the end, successful suicide prevention requires understanding cultural backgrounds and creating access to various supportive services that cater to individual needs, thus strengthening the shared commitment to mental health. So, I believe addressing suicide prevention with environmental awareness requires a good approach. We must understand the cultural, social, and environmental factors that contribute to mental health. Based on all this research, it shows that marginalized groups face unique challenges that increase their risk of suicide. By promoting open communication and creating safe spaces, we can reduce the feeling of that feeling of isolation and of hopelessness, which will ultimately reduce the suicide and actually prevent the number of suicide cases. That essay I had written, I had done some research, and we have the references that I have listed, the 4 references that I have listed. We have the Gray Book, the Robertson, the evaluation of the Choose Life North Lanarkshire Awareness Program, and the Preventing Suicide in Colorado, Progress Achieved and Goals for the Future, the Mental Health Promotion in Schools, and the 4th one, Towards Promoting Young Mental Health in New Zealand, Holistic Houses of Health. So I have also provided the links to whoever would like to get those actual PDFs. I've provided the links. So I have concluded my essay on addressing suicide prevention through environmental awareness. So again, I'm Caitlin Nyambura Freshia. Thank you, Sri Holistic Health Foundation, India, Sri Research Institute and Center for Arts, Sciences and Wellbeing, all the collaborators, Dr. Ravindra Sir, and their team for giving me this opportunity for addressing my essay. And I'm greatly thankful for giving me this time that I've been able to present my essay. And thank you for listening, and thank you for attending this conference. I hope you'll continue enjoying the session. And in case of any questions, feedback, I'm open to any. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Namburu, for the wonderful presentations. Very well presented. And you have also focused on various cultural and environmental factors that are impacting mental health. Very well presented with all references and in a very simple way. Congratulations. We wish you all the success for your future endeavors. Participants, if you have any queries, feel free to share in chat box, or you can also share through the feedback form. Now we will move on. If there are no queries, we'll move on to second presenter. Yeah, Pradeep. You can unmute yourself.
Thank you, Ravindra sir. So the presentation was insightfully good, and just I want to share my few insights about the presentation. Like the way the presenter has presented, uh, it gives a very different approach, and also which is much needed regarding to the mental health awareness. When compared to the community level and also various other aspects. So that's all I just wanted to share you, sir.
Thank you, Pradeep, for your feedback. And if there are no further queries, we can move on to next session. Next session, we have Mr. Pradeep, who would be presenting on preserving animal, human, and environmental health as one. He is an animal activist working around 8 to 9 years, almost a decade, on animal welfare, animal rights, and related aspects. So we welcome you once again on this platform. You can unmute yourself, start your video, and start your presentation.
Thanks a lot, Ravinder sir, for giving this wonderful opportunity and also organizing this awareness programs, which is very well needed in the hour. So before going to the presentation, I'd like to share a few words about me. My name is Pradeep. I was working in the field of animal welfare for the almost close to 8 to 9 years, and serving with the different sectors. That's in rescues, awareness, and also advocacy. So while we've been working for the protection of animals, we have noticed a couple of things, especially when we work towards uh, climate change and also disaster, floods and all. So a lot of the times we have noticed the significant of stress actually faced by the animals, and also at the same time humans, which are more vulnerable to the flooded area. So as overall well-being is closely interlinked with not only one particular species, so it is linked with human health, animal health, and also the environment. So today's topic, we actually deal with the close connection with within these three things. So as we are going ahead with the technological ages, we have been seeing there is a tremendous growth in the technological advancements across the world, even in India. There is no person without a smartphone. But however, there has been a massive destruction towards our nature. Mostly, deforestation is one of the major aspect, and the anthropogenic factors which are responsible, which includes illegal wildlife trade and also the human treatment of animals, which has caused a great deal of damage to our environment, which in turn responsible for many climate disasters. You might be seeing in India when we see about the past few months, the Wayanad landslide, which is a classical example, which been where the it's been an eco-sensitive zone, but still the developmental activities have been carried out, which has hampered with the many lives, and also it has many families has devastated, and it also caused a lot of trauma in them. So the eco-centeredness, I mean to say eco-centeredness, which is a term which I have been using it. So to mention the connectedness of the environment, animals, and human health, which is utmost important uh, to have a even to achieve a good health and also well-being, and to prevent from various diseases, and also to prevent from various climate disasters, disaster prepared disaster like floods and also heavy rainfall. So and even cloud burst we have been seeing. If you've seen in the state of Andhra Pradesh, we have been seeing Vijayawada, we have recorded the highest number of rainfall and many other areas. So why we are getting all the sudden change in the weather patterns? It's because of rapid urbanization is one aspect, and the other aspect is in the name of development and all, many of the natural resources we have been cutting down. We are cutting down of the forest to build a skyscrapers. But one we need to examine is, can you imagine a day without a tree? Imagine there is a day, imagine there is an area where there are no trees. And also, can you imagine a day without a tree, animals, birds? It's a bit difficult, right? But we have seen the certain situation in the 2 years where we've been confined in our homes, not able to move around, not able to even communicate because social isolation we have seen. The COVID-19 is one of the pandemic situation. It's because of all the lack of uh, what we need to say, eco consciousness, lack of conserving the nature, because we are go on developing many good aspects. We are sending rockets to the moon, everything, whatnot, everything. But we're not able to preserve our forest. We are not able to preserve our nature. We are every time in India, trees have been cut down. Deforestation has been carried out in a very large manner. So it takes almost 2 years to grow a tree. And if you cut down the same tree, where can you get an oxygen? You have to wear an oxygen mask and we have to go outside. So do our future generation need such situations? And in the World Mental Health Day, so we have seen that many actually many of the speaker Ravindra sir has also said many aspects about it. So being an animal welfare and being caring for environment and also public health concern. So lot of the times when you see about disaster times, flood times, uh, during evacuation, even for animals also, for humans also, lot of the times they undergo a lot of tremendous stress. Even they can't express because they have been misplaced from the families. And if you take about animals, they have been misplaced from their owners. Animals means cattle, livestock, and also uh, companion animals like dogs, cats, and domesticated animals like goats, everything. So what not everything, they get displaced from their owners, and some actually left them. So they actually undergo a uh, lot of trauma, and they undergo a lot of stress. And but there is a lack of coping mechanism, like because as people lose their homes, they have been misplaced, they don't know where to go, they don't know how to they have the families also get displaced misplaced. So these all vulnerability will happen. And because of the when the climate disasters happen, or any disaster events are happen, so many of the things, many of the aspects, because people actually get frightened because they were in a very comfort zone. When the sudden event has happened in your life, we get we go in a shock moment. We don't know what to do. We don't know what has to be done. So such situations will prevail, and at the same time, uh, there are no coping mechanisms. Although the primary first aid is being done, every food and also rehabilitation has been done, and then what we have to do is we also need to provide a counseling session, counseling or any sort of thing, and mental health awareness, and also mental health professionals need to be part of that, about the disaster management or even any other vulnerability, climate vulnerable situations, because it's an intersectoral approach where it means for like the disaster team, or even uh, the education and awareness and the revenue department, and also uh, public health, So these all has to be done, and community community health services has to be there. That has not only restricted to the educational institutions, but at the same time it has to be go beyond to the community level, because preparedness is the key for anything. When natural disasters occurs, uh, evacuation is one of the process, and preparing the people mentally, which is very important, because most of them, they, especially farmers, if you see, they will lose their crops, and they go into the mental trauma, and half of the if you can see that farmer suicides are also happening, uh, maybe due to the crop damage or any other things. So preparing them mentally and providing them an excretia from the government sector sides, and also a collectedness, that means from the government side, and educate from the mental health practitioners, and also social work. If you are some social work background, you can also volunteer your time during these situations. You can also it's a also one of the experience we will get to know about it, where you can communicate with the people. We can get to know about what actually the conditions they are undergoing, and how you can be how can you make a difference in them, because uh, a kind word can make a lot of difference. So speaking positively, and also conducting some awareness programs, so that will also make them people comfortable, and at the same time making them to be more prepared to the disaster times. This can the and the other aspect which we particularly lacking is integration of uh, integration of mental health in all the departments, because when we see about the government levels or any other department, even many of the health sector, there are also suicides are happening, especially when it happens to the extreme work conditions. So at that time, uh, an awareness program should be inculcated in their maybe they were a student. If they are from an MBBS background, maybe their final year they can do it. Even if you are from a veterinary science background, they have to have this subject, so that they can be prepared. And also in the disaster management also, the mental health also plays a key role, key aspect, because the situation is vulnerable, and people also need to be prepared for that. How people will prepare for that? Unless until they have provided a certain awareness initiative, how to cope with the certain mechanisms. Even Ravindra sir also shared about the WHO, World Health Organization, how the coping strategies is also there. So certain there are many other free applications are available. Even if you even even if you go to the online also, like telehealth, even mental health is also telehealth services are also available. So integrating to telehealth services and also mental health services at that vulnerability time, the disaster times, which will definitely equip people to provide some confidence, and also the coping strategies they will which will undoubtedly help to manage themselves and to calm themselves. And at the same time, mostly mental health is often having treated as an something is like uh, an untouchable word. But thanks to the social media nowadays, and everything, slowly people are gaining the importance of, like, it's like a physical health, we need to be taking care of it. So education and awareness and advocacy is also very much important. So if you are from psychology background, if you are from any social work background, even you can conduct some awareness initiatives in rural level, and also you can partner with the local NGOs. You can organize some programs to even in rural health, how we organize blood bank, or sorry, how we organize uh, blood camps or eye checkups. Similarly, you can also organize such sort of initiatives, even in local Lions Club or Rotary Club. You can partner with them, And also, if you want, if you are from an veterinary section, like you are from animal husbandry, or if you're from, if you're pursuing education, veterinary education, if you're an aspiring veterinary doctor, or you can volunteer with animal welfare organization, or even you can go with a animal husbandry department. Maybe you can also sensitize people. You can also, like, a capacity building programs has to be organized. And for anything, for any disease or anything, awareness is the key. Identifying the root cause for the problem and getting to know sufficient resources. Maybe you can do a online research about it, so that it will definitely help to reduce the problem. So here we do talk about a climate change, or it's a climate change is a broader term. Has created by the nature. It's a totally anthropogenic activities which has created by the, I mean, created by us. With the aim of developing something, we are losing the nature. So, so what I want to say in this whole mental health day is, try to maintain a balance of uh, balance between uh, humans, animals, and environment and nature. Because without nature, we can't survive. Maybe without iPhone, without anything, without technological gadget, we can have it. But without oxygen, without nature, without food, without animals, we cannot imagine a day. So let's not the next generation breathe through oxygen masks. We have already faced 2 years. We have been stuck in our homes, and so we don't want the next generation to have the same trauma and stress. Uh, So whatever the decision you make today will definitely make a significant difference for the, for your life, for the animals, and also for the future generations. So with that, I am ending my session. Thanks a lot to Ravinder sir and Sri Holistic Health Foundation for organizing this insightful webinars and gaining a lot of knowledge from many expertise people, which is more important, and more awareness sessions for to be seen soon. Thanks, Ravindra sir. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pradeep, for your insightful presentation. As we have seen this environment and how One Health paradigm is closely related to mental health issues. We have seen environmental health, plant health, and human health. Though mental health is part of, when we are talking about human health, but even animals also have mental health issues. That is also affecting the overall health paradigm. So it's very important to understand the interdynamics of how one factor, one determinant of health is affecting the other determinant and overall health of animals or human beings. So, and how they are impacting our choices, especially our lifestyle choices, are impacting the climate change. Very well presented. Congratulations. We wish you all the success for your future endeavors. Participants, if you have any queries or feedback, feel free to share in chat box, or you can share in through the feedback form. If there are no further queries or feedback, we shall move on to next session. Thank you, Pradeep, once again.
Thanks a lot, sir. We hope we can organize more and more sessions in the coming days, sir. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, you are always welcome. So the next presenter, Neo Getsi, are you there? Neo, if you are there, you can raise your hand. Neo Getsi from Botswana. You can start your video. You can unmute yourself. Start your video and you can unmute yourself and start your presentation.
Good day, everyone. Good day, everyone. My name is Neo Getsi. I am from Botswana. So today I'll be presenting about suicidal prevention. So to start off, every life is precious and every person deserves to feel supported and loved. However, the reality is that many people struggle with feelings of hopelessness, isolation, and despair. Suicide is a serious public health issue that affects people of all ages, races, and backgrounds. But it is also a preventable tragedy. The first step in preventing suicide is to understand the warning signs and risk factors. Some common warning signs include the first one it is changes in behavior or mood. The second one is isolation from friends and family. The third one is an increased use of drugs or alcohol, which I think it is the most common one. The fourth one is talking about wanting to die or kill oneself, which is actually the most common one also. The fifth one is giving away possessions. If you notice these or other warning signs in someone you care about, it is important to reach out and offer support to them. There are also risk factors that can increase the likelihood of someone considering suicide. This includes a history of mental illnesses, especially depression and anxiety. The second one, a family history of suicide. The third one, exposure to violence or abuse. In order to prevent suicide, we must create a society that values and supports mental health. This means we can increase access to mental health services, including therapy and medication. The second one, we can reduce stigma around mental illnesses and suicide. The third one is educating people about the warning signs and risk factors of suicide. The fourth one is creating a supportive environment in workplaces, schools, and community. The fifth one is supporting policies that promote mental health and well-being. We must also remember that suicide prevention is everyone's responsibility. We can all make a difference by reaching out to someone who is struggling, offering support and showing them that they are not alone. As we work to prevent suicide, it is important to remember that everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has struggles and challenges that they are facing. We must treat each other with compassion, empathy, and understanding. We must also remember that suicide is not the answer. Suicide is a permanent solution to a temporary problem. There is always a hope and there is always help available. If you know someone you know is struggling with suicidal thoughts, please reach out to reach out to them to help them. In conclusion, suicide prevention is about more than just identifying warning signs and risk factors. It is about creating a society that values mental health and well-being. It is about recognizing that every life has a value and every person deserves to be treated with dignity and respect. It is about remembering that suicide is not the answer and that there is always hope and help available. There is always a light at the end of each tunnel. Then I would also like to present about World Mental Health Day. World Mental Health Day is observed on October 10th each year. It's a global day of awareness and advocacy of mental health. The day is a platform to raise awareness, reduce stigma, and promote well-being. Mental health issues can affect anyone regardless of age, race, or gender. And it is important to remember that mental health is just as important as physical health. World Mental Health Day is a reminder to prioritize mental health and well-being in our personal lives and in our community. To support mental health, we must work to address the stigma that surrounds mental health issues and promote access to mental health services. It is important to remember that mental health issues are just like physical health issues. They are common, they are treatable, and they can affect anyone. We can all take steps to promote mental health and well-being, such as practicing self-care, reaching out for help when needed, and offering support to others. On World Mental Health Day, let's come together to break the silence and stigma around mental health and work towards creating a more inclusive and understanding society. World Mental Health Day is not just about recognizing the importance of mental health, but also taking action to support those who are struggling. This includes providing access to mental health services. This means making mental health services available to everyone, regardless of income or location. Creating supportive environments. This includes workplaces, schools, and communities that promote mental health and well-being. Promoting education and awareness. This means teaching people about mental health, how to recognize the signs of mental illnesses, and how to get help. In addition, it is important to remember that mental health is not just about the absence of mental illnesses, it is also about thriving, feeling fulfilled, and living a meaningful life. To support mental health, we must all work to create a society that values and supports mental health and well-being. This means supporting policies that promote mental health and well-being, and creating a culture that values and prioritizes mental health. World Mental Health Day is an opportunity to come together and support mental health both for ourselves and for others. On World Mental Health Day, it is important to remember that mental health is a fundamental human right and that everyone deserves to be treated with respect, dignity, and compassion. We must work to break the silence and stigma around mental health and to support those who are struggling. This can include speaking openly about mental health, sharing our own experiences, can help to reduce stigma and shows others that they are not alone. Offering support. We can offer support to those who are struggling by listening to them, offering empathy and understanding and connecting with them. Finally, on World Mental Health Day, we should remember that mental health is a journey and that progress can be slow and uneven. But we should not give up. We should continue to strive for a world where mental health is valued and supported. We can all make a difference in a fight for mental health, whether it is by sharing our own stories, offering support, or advocating for change. We can all play a role in creating a society that values mental health and well-being. Together, we can make a difference. The presentation which I'd like to present is about health. Health is a fundamental aspect of human life and well-being. It affects every aspect of our existence, from our physical, mental, and emotional health to our social and financial well-being. Health is a complex and interconnected issue influenced by a variety of factors, including genetics, lifestyle, environment, and access to health care. The importance of health cannot be overstated. Healthy individuals are more likely to be productive members of society, contributing to the economy and live longer, happier lives. To promote health, it is important to adopt healthy habits such as eating a balanced diet, exercising regularly, and avoiding harmful substances such as tobacco and alcohol. However, health is not just about individual choices and behaviors. It is influenced by social, economic, and environmental factors. Access to health care, housing, education, and safe environments can all impact health. In order to promote health and well-being for all, it is important to address these systematic factors and create an environment that supports health and wellness. It is also important to recognize the impact of mental health on overall health. Mental health issues can lead to physical health problems and vice versa. Stigma surrounding mental health can prevent individuals from seeking help, which can exacerbate the problem. To address this issue, we must create a society that values mental health and provide accessible and affordable mental health services. In addition to addressing individual and systematic factors, it is also important to invest in research and development to better understanding health issues and develop new treatments and interventions. The importance of health extends beyond the individual to the global community as well. The health of one nation can impact the health of others through the spread of diseases, the sharing of resources, and the exchange of information. Global cooperation and collaboration is essential in addressing health issues such as pandemics, environmental degradation, and access to health care. Ultimately, health is about more than just the absence of diseases or illnesses. It is about living a fulfilling and productive life and about being a contributing member of society. Health is a right that should be available to all individuals, regardless of their socioeconomic status, race, gender, or location. In order to achieve this, we must address health inequalities and work towards a more equitable and just world. This includes addressing issues such as poverty, discrimination, and unequal access to healthcare and resources. In conclusion, health is a complex and multifaceted issue that requires a holistic and comprehensive approach. By addressing individuals and systematic factors, promoting healthy behaviors, and investing in research and global cooperation, we can create a world where health is available to all and where everyone has the opportunity to thrive. Bye, Ndawaketse from Botswana. I'm done with my presentation. Thank you to everyone who listened to my presentation. Thank you to Mr. Hagventa. I'm done. Any questions?
Can you switch on your video, Neo Kitsky? Okay. Participants, if you have any queries, feel free to ask or share in chat box. Congratulations, very well presented.
Thank you, sir.
So we wish you all the success for your future endeavors.
Thank you.
So if there are no further queries, then we'll move on. The feedback form has been raised in the form of polls. We request everyone to fill the feedback form for today's session. You can see the same way as you have registered in the Zoom. You are able to see feedback form. Request everyone to fill the feedback form to be eligible for the certificate. As the certificates are generated by the system automatically, we request everyone to quickly follow the instructions and fill the feedback form, those who have attended the session.